American English. The two principal forms of English prevalent today, American English and British English, have become remarkably distinct in several ways, despite sharing common origins. These differences are seen in the degree of uniformity each displays, their range of vocabulary and usage, and the spelling differences of particular words. American English was a result of the colonization of North America by Britain. However, after the American War for Independence, the two forms began to change independently of each other, incorporating words, accents, and vernacular specific to the respective countries. Since that time, the language itself has continued to morph, and its speakers have continued to annex new words from other languages, resulting in two similar yet distinct forms of the same mother tongue. American English is characterized by its overall uniformity in written form and by its limited variations in spoken form. While variations are certainly present in American English, they are much more commonplace in British English. British English features an overall lack of coherence in dialect, accents, and even in the vocabulary used from region to region. For example, English as it is spoken in Ireland has marked contrasts from English spoken in London, both in terms of pronunciation and vernacular. Nevertheless, although the same language is being spoken, and people from various parts of the country can usually understand each other, the lack of uniformity easily distinguishes from what area the person comes. Though such regional variations do exist within American English, they are not nearly so pronounced. Another stark difference between American and British English is that the latter exhibits asymmetry in accordance with particular socioeconomic groups. Slang, as colloquial expressions are termed in America, is much more universal in American English than it is in British English. It is used by large cross-sections of the population, regardless of socioeconomic stature. American English and British English are also distinct in vocabulary. In terms of vocabulary, many words remain the same regardless of which type of English is used, but there are also a significant number that differ. For example, in the American lexicon, fuel for automobiles is described as gasoline, whereas in Britain it is described as petrol. And where would this fuel be used? In America, it might power a truck, while in England it might propel a lorry. Different words, same meaning. A cursory examination also reveals differences in usage. Typically, Americans prefer simpler sentence structures. For example, Americans would say, "I already ate," whereas the British would more likely say, "I've already eaten." In this case, the American uses the simple past tense instead of the past perfect as a means of streamlining communication, a common feature of American English usage. Another way usage varies is in the expression of possession. An American might say, "I have a new car," while the British would say, "I have got a new car." The differences in usage also extend to the use of prepositions, which deviates between the two forms of the language in the way that they are employed. The British say, "I'll see you at the weekend." Americans typically say, "I'll see you on the weekend," yet both mean exactly the same thing. These are just a sampling of usage differences. Numerous other variations can be seen on closer study. Perhaps one of the most obvious differences between the two written forms of English is seen in spelling. The American color, C-O-L-O-R, practice, P-R-A-C-T-I-C-E, and center, C-E-N-T-E-R, appear in British dictionaries as C-O-L-O-U-R, P-R-A-C-T-I-S-E, and C-E-N-T-R-E. These patterns are seen in most American words ending in O-R, I-C-E, and E-R, respectively. Another spelling variation is seen in the spelling of past participles, a verb that can be used as an adjective to indicate tense. In American English, past participles end in ed. However, in British English, past participles can end in t. Three words that exemplify this difference are burn, smell, and spoil. The American forms of these past participles are burned, smelled, and spoiled. The English forms, on the other hand, are burnt, smelt, and spoilt. British novelist George Bernard Shaw succinctly communicated the national variations in American and British English when he lamented that America and Britain are two countries divided by a common language. That is, while the two forms may have originated from a common root language, they certainly are not the same.